beaming from Pacific Junction Hotel to Earth.
Yo, welcome to my summer lair. I'm your host, Sammy Yunan, and I have all the way from Oakland. Is it Oakland or San Fran? You're from Oakland, right?
Well, number one,
Yeah.
it's Frisco.
Oh,
You
sorry.
can't say San Fran.
Okay.
That's not what the cool kids say.
Okay. I'm
But-
already like behind on the.
But that's not even the worst part.
Oh no! What did I blow now?
You can't mix Oakland and San Francisco. It's like a civil war.
Okay.
So like to say you from Oakland or San Francisco, like that's like saying, man, are you from Jerusalem or Palestine?
Yeah. Them's fighting words. Okay. So.
That's a gross exaggeration, but
Yeah.
I'm from Oakland.
Okay.
And people from Oakland would say, don't you ever confuse me with somebody from San Francisco.
Okay.
That's our little Bay Area civil rivalry there.
Yeah.
Little civil
Okay.
rivalry.
So let's start again. Pretend that never happened. So
No, it happened. It happened. But now you are well-versed
Yes.
on Bay Area dynamics.
Yeah, I've been put on notice now. So this is what's so great about having the NBA Finals, obviously here in Toronto, because the Raptors have home court. Is we get a lot of people like yourself coming in, and we get this kind of knowledge. So welcome to Toronto, Marcus Thompson.
You know what? This is one of my favorite places. I know y'all hear there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's like a pretty girl getting told she's pretty.
Yeah.
You
After
know.
a certain point, it's like,
Yeah,
come on,
right.
man.
Toronto's
Like you got to
like-
try a little harder. Like,
So I was like, yeah, all right, we hear it all the time. Like,
Yeah.
So, but you know, I just hope that from somebody from the Bay,
Mm-hmm.
it just sounds a little bit better.
yeah.
You know, because people from California, especially from the Bay Area,
Mm-hmm.
like we love where we live, right? We ride hard for where we're from,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't like saying other places are great, like because what stacks up to the Bay Area really?
Yeah.
So for a Bay Area person to say,
Mm-hmm.
man, Toronto is great, like this is not like Tuscaloosa, Alabama, right?
Yes,
Or
yeah.
this is
No, I
like-
know. This is a gold standard.
Yeah, right. We're like, yo,
Yeah.
we know about nice cities, and
Yeah.
this one is nice. So hopefully that's like a hot dude telling a pretty girl that she's pretty, because that rings a little bit different, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Like, yeah, she'll be playing with her hair and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
right.
But
She's
yeah.
like, oh, thank you, right?
Yeah, do the little shoulder touch kind of
Yeah,
thing, the elbow touch. Yo, that's always kind of
funny.
nice. You've obviously covered the Warriors for a number of years now, so because that's the other thing that we always hear in terms of like the size and the noise of the crowd here for the home games, for the Raptors games. Is it comparable to when like the Warriors are in the finals and that crowd is like
Nah, it's packed. Like the Warriors, the Oracle crowd isn't like that anymore. Like this crowd is a lot like when the Warriors first started going, and you know maybe the Raptors fans will kind of. The same thing will happen because this probably won't be the last time they're in the finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if Kawhi stays. And, you know, it's going to become the cool thing. It's going to become the thing that wealthy people want to be at. And eventually they will start dominating the audience, right? And eventually ticket sales will skyrocket, you know, and eventually the less rabid fans will be, you know, in premium seats, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just the nature of big business sports, right?
Yeah.
But the crowd that we heard in game one
Mhm.
was like nostalgic for us.
Yes.
Right? It was like, yo, I remember this. Like the only other place, like Oracle at its peak a few years ago, maybe even We Believe, like the 2007 season when they beat Dallas, like that was like the all-time pinnacle. And it felt a little bit like that. The other one is Oklahoma City 2016. Like
Yeah.
that was nuts. That was insane. But you know, people keep saying this, and it's really true. Cleveland got pretty loud. A lot of it felt like it was piped in noise, but it was still like loud. But Cleveland and Oklahoma City, like you could feel the hatred. Like it was venomous. It was like mob
Yes.
anger. This is like fun, right? This
Yeah.
is like, you know, it's fun to watch. Even I don't know if anybody saw this, but online, one of the players' family members, she's a private, so I don't want to say because it's not like public, but she was saying, man, it feels good to talk trash and not feel like your life is in danger.
Yes.
Right? Like, so, you know, there's just there's a communal aspect to the fervor here that is a bit refreshing, actually, especially, you know, because people just absolutely hate the Warriors and they hate everything Warriors, and there's fighting in the crowd, and you just know it always feels like it's one incident from something happening.
Yeah, it's on the
Here,
edge.
It doesn't feel like that here. It feels like, I mean, there's a healthy dislike, but it feels like there's a proper perspective with this crowd. Like, they're more, you know what it is? Raptors fans enjoy their team more than they hate the Warriors.
There you go. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Like, everybody else, like Oklahoma City, they just hated the Warriors. Cleveland, they hated the Warriors. Raptors fans are just lit because this is like, what a time to be alive. Like you can feel that difference in the vibe.
This is an extreme example, but I went to the Cleveland game the first time that LeBron, after he left, after the decision, and went to Miami.
So you went when he came back to Cleveland?
The first game, yeah. And that, like...
I heard it was like the Roman Coliseum, like where it was throwing people to lions.
There was... there's even, like, photos of his face in the urinal so that people could pee on it. Like... It got like, that was hardcore. That's the most hardcore NBA environment I've ever been in, and that's what you're talking about. We're like, it's just dangerous. There's fights breaking out in the stands and like.
But see, that's the beauty. That's the perk of being in a great city. Because, all right, your team lose, all right, the foe you don't like. In the end, you're about to leave and go, like, live life in this great city. Like, who can stay mad, right?
Yeah, I know.
You'll say, like, all right, yeah, we hate the Warriors. Let's go party.
Yeah. It comes out on top.
You go to some places, like, it's like, all right, we hate the Warriors.
Yeah.
And now we're just going to stew in that all night, right?
Yeah. We got to burn a jersey now or something.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the beauty of when you live in a great city. That's just my psychoanalysis of city people.
Right. No, that's fair. But I want to focus on Toronto because you also made a very important announcement, and that you said when you come to Toronto, you want to try poutine.
Yes.
You said it on your podcast, Plus Minus. So have you had poutine yet?
So look, when we were here for All-Star, when was All-Star here? 2017?
Yeah.
I came out here for that 2016. Might have been 2016.
Okay, yeah. Times are going, man.
Yes, might have been 2016. It was definitely 2016 because the Warriors hadn't lost the championship yet. But I was writing Golden, The Miraculous Rise of Steph Curry, and I came out here in large part to like go out to his middle school and just do the Canadian research on that period of his life. And, you know, at every All-Star, the Sunday is the day for like these brunch networking things. Like everybody has one. And I went to Bill Duffy, who's an agent, his agency put on like a brunch. And man, let me tell you, it wasn't even like a brunch. It was kind of afternoon, but it was so good. Like you know how they just go around handing out stuff. It's like people walking around with food, and it was like in this carton, and it was like fries and a bunch of stuff, and we had no idea what it was. And me and Michael Lee from the Washington Post and Gary Washburn from the Boston Globe were just chilling. And we were eating stuff. It's like, yo, this is so good.
Yeah.
Right? And like
welcome to the party.
Every time they came by, we was like, yo, let me get some more of that stuff. It was like just in this regular old white carton.
Yeah.
And we were like, yo, let me get some more of that. We didn't know what it was. And then you found out later it was poutine. So I had been waiting to get some. I'm going to tell you. I was very disappointed in the poutine I had. I mean, my first poutine experience was clearly like some high-end stuff.
Yeah.
Because it was like fancy meat in there. Like it was it was like really good. I had some from we walked to the OVO shop, me and another reporter. And it was like some street food along the way, like some what you call them things?
The hot dog carts or like
no, it's like food trucks.
Oh yeah.
So we stopped there, and I had some poutine from there. It was it was not good.
I'll give you a couple of places you can try, and then you can get back on the truck.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some. I don't need just poutine. I need the best poutine.
No, I'll get you some places.
That first experience is like it's done now. I can't have other stuff.
Right, yeah. So welcome to Toronto. So the new book, you already mentioned the previous book, which was on Steph Curry. The new book is on KD, and it's called Kevin Durant's Relentless Pursuit to be the Greatest. So in the book, in the acknowledgments for the book, you said writing a book about someone's life has a way of forcing you to reflect on your own life. So what were some of the takeaways or insights that you collected from that reflection, just writing about KD? Because that would give us a little bit better sense of who you are, other than you have high-end poutine in your life.
I know. Well, so there was a noted connection in this book as compared to Steph Curry's life, right? Like writing about Steph Curry's life. made me cry for different reasons. like for one of the things, and this is probably far too personal. I know people don't care, but whatever you ask, so I'm answering it.
That's fair.
Steph Curry's mom, the presence of his mom in his life and what she meant, like it made me think about my mom, and we've had like so many issues over the years, and you know, there was a stretch where she wasn't part of my life, you know, as a child. So, you know, maybe like, dang man, like this is what I didn't have. You know what I'm saying? So that was really hardcore for me.
Because mom's a hard one too.
Yeah, no
right?
question,
like,
no question.
Because I mean, in the KD book, you kind of touch upon the black community and dads and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
I was the opposite. I had my dad, but my mother was like, you know, had a rough time. So that was hard for me, right? But you know, there were some connections there. I've always appreciated Steph's faith. I've always appreciated how he was genuine about it, and how like he is just diligent about trying to do the right thing, right? And it's impressive. Like I always found that impressive. We have a lot of similar traits. So when I'm writing about Steph, like just his mindset, and how he thinks, I just felt a lot of like as the oldest of the siblings, and as the one who's always like done well, and people expect so much of you, and you can't really make a mistake. Like all that stuff I kind of got, but with KD, like just the struggle, I felt it. Like I really felt it. I know what it's like to grow up in poverty. I know what it's like to come from nothing, to live around violence and drugs. So writing his story, it really like made me think about him differently, because, you know, in the States, you know, we kind of understand that a lot of professional athletes, especially the ones who are African American, come from like underprivileged backgrounds, right? And it just becomes trite.
Yeah.
After a while, it's like, oh yeah, you from the hood, got it.
Yeah, because it's really the only kind of one way out.
Yeah, right.
Like,
So
you
like,
rap or ball your way out.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Like,
so you know it, and it just has become to the point where it's so commonplace as to be ordinary. But learning the specifics of his story made it much more real and less trite. I remember I had to go to the locker room one time and be like, dude, I don't even know how you're here.
Yeah.
Like how like, you know, like you should not be here, because I know people who've been through things that are similar than what Durant went through, and they're not successful business people. They're not human beings that are pleasant to be around, right? They aren't people who can, you know, work a room, or, you know, like
the circumstances made them hard almost.
Yeah, like,
it's like
it,
when you
it
come out of
creates a
prison,
bitterness.
right? Like I know poverty is a prison, so it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
when you
no
come out
question.
of it, right?
There's scars from that. You don't just get to do it and and there's no like setback from it, right?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have some kind of lingering scars, because it's all trauma, and people react to trauma. Like you just don't get to have trauma and nothing happens, right?
You can't just walk that off.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't walk off poverty.
You cannot walk it off. But a lot of that, like just the one of the things that I really wanted to write about in the book was just like the fact that he let his father back in his life.
I thought that part was crazy.
And like just people, I just know, I literally know people, like not one, two, but a bunch of people whose father weren't in their life, and they refuse to talk to their father. They're like, yeah, I don't have a dad, or I hate my dad, or there's this like really contentious, bad relationship, because abandonment is a trauma that you just don't come back from sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but it's also like, it's part of the other kind of the trite thing, which is that a lot of players who are kind of groomed from early on were like, you're going to go to the NBA, you're going to be something, you're going to be significant. All those kind of hanger-ons kind of showing up. And sometimes we've heard a lot of stories where people get leached early on.
No question.
And so the idea of letting his dad back in and knowing that he was at this level and going to be going to the NBA and make all
I think what helped him was that it was a little bit before that.
Yeah.
Like it was like in middle school. It was before you knew KD was a phenom. I think if it was later and he's like, oh, I'm a star now, you want to come back, it'd have probably been all bad. But there was just a part of Kevin that valued the presence of his father more than the bitterness from his father leaving. And it's a significant level of maturity and forgiveness and humility to say, yeah, as long as you're serious, yeah, we can have a relationship. And now they have a great relationship, right? But I was just like, yo, like people just don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just doesn't happen.
I know.
I just really, once I found that out, I really wanted to dig into that.
Because that's kind of the cliche trite thing you're talking about, where like a black kid and he gets abandoned by his dad. We've heard that story, and that unfortunately is too true and still happening. But then the idea of the dad coming back and then the son are like, all right, let's do this. Let's figure out how to make this work. That's refreshing, right?
No question. I also kind of, for me, I feel like KD is a representation of so many things, and I felt like it was worth it to use these opportunities, use his life to tell like bigger social stories, right? Like, I mean, people forget about Len Bias, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Len Bias is from the same hood, and
he was so close to being
I
so
know,
great.
right? You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know the story of Len Bias, he was like a phenom. He was at Maryland. He was drafted number 2 overall by the Celtics. He was the next big star.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the night after his draft or the night of the draft. He tries cocaine for the first time, and he dies tragically. Never gets to play in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But he was next. He was the chosen one. And so it allowed me an opportunity to talk about him, talk about his neighborhood and why he meant so much, talk about how PG County used to be like this thriving black community, and then the crack epidemic killed it, which this is like a representation of a model that happened all across America. So if you tell one, you can tell them all, right? So just what KD represented to that area is symbolic of what many of these players represent to their area, right? It's who they are. They're the hope. They're the silver lining in what is often like really rough areas. So I thought it was important to kind of dig into that and tell the larger story of the hood, you know, nationally, while telling Kevin Durant's story.
But that's, I think, one of the fascinating things in your book is that KD does represent all these contradictions, where it's like he's really antagonistic, but then really kind.
Yes.
Like we just talked about his dad, and we know the antagonistic
Right.
KD. And I'm like, I think he's even called you out a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like as media and as journalism.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So, and we've seen him he's getting a lot of technicals now on, you know what I mean? Those kind of things. So it's like KD almost represents our age in a sense, right? Because we live in an age now.
Oh, he's a total millennial, right?
You're like, but he represents all the contradictions we live with, right?
No question.
We hate Facebook because of the whole Trump and Russia and thing, whatever. But then we like it because we can talk to grandma and family members.
But is it? I would say what KD points out to me is that it's less a contradiction and more proof that we're all really a dichotomy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or we all aren't singular individuals or singular entities, right? We can be multiple things, right? This is one of the things that I thought about, because like, so if you're Kevin Durant, right, and you've made it through poverty, you've made it through a broken home, you've made it through instability, you spent probably the most formative years of your life without a father.
Mm-hmm.
He's dealt with crazy death, right? Just like gut-wrenching death. And he makes it through all that, right, to become what he is today. And then people tell him you're soft or you're weak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you're a quitter or you're a coward, right? So the interesting part for me was processing this, was thinking like, wow, you know, you on your job or me on my job, we get to just do our job and then we get to live our life outside of our job.
Mm-hmm.
And usually who we are outside of our job is what determines what kind of person we are, right? If you're a good person, nobody's saying you're a good person because you did your job well. You're a good person if you take care of your kids, if you love your family, if you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
you do good things, right? The professional athletes and celebrities in general, they basically get judged for who they are by how they do their job.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a weird universe they're in. And the truth is, like, no, how Kevin Durant does his job is not a definition of who he is, but he has to live with that. So he makes one move and suddenly all that stuff doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. And now he's just soft. And he's like, I'm soft? Are you serious?
Yeah.
If I dropped you in my life, you wouldn't make it, right? And he's like, I'm soft? Oh, I'm a coward? Do you know how many things that I've had to have the courage to stand up to, right? So it's he forces you. This is what I love about KD, even though, like, he don't do things like a PR person would suggest.
Mm-hmm.
He just forces you to deal with him as a human. Like, you do not just to get to refer to him as a basketball player. You're going to come in contact with the man, right? And you may not like it, and you may love it, but you're not going to just ignore his humanity, right? And he's just like adamant about that. And people are telling him to stay off Twitter. He's like, look, why do I not get to talk to people if I want to talk to them? Am I too rich to be a person? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you say something to me, do I have to relinquish my right to fire back at you?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, no, I'm not doing that. And then at some point,
he still has feelings.
Yeah, at some point, we got to reckon with that. Like, why are we telling this dude to shut up and not feel? Except for when we want you to do good in the community. Then at that point, you can feel.
The NBA cares.
Yeah, right? Like, he just forces you to recognize that he's a whole human.
Yeah. I mean, I find that people who get the, like Kanye West or other people like that who get the polarizing tag, they get the tag because it's like they don't fit in with what we've decided. They don't fit in with the consensus of the narrative, right? So then it's like, oh, then he's polarizing. That's how you kind of dismiss them.
Yeah, right? we definitely have an idea of how people should behave.
But it's our narrative that's wrong.
Absolutely.
Right? And we never examine the narrative or why we came up with like this. Like you have in the book, you highlight the Nike campaign where KD's not nice.
Yeah.
Right? And that was the whole point where like KD scores 30 points or 35 points, whatever game is not nice and things like that. And it's playing into that, right? Where like everyone's just like, KD's nice, KD's soft, and right? But then when you actually look what he does on the court, it's not nice at all.
No question, right? Like we do this all the time, what you're saying, right? We say a dude is classy because he shakes hands after the game. Like, he might be cheating on his wife, not raising his kids, right? Ducking taxes, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, staying out all night drinking, disrespecting women. But, man, if he shook hands after the game, man, that dude is classy.
That's good enough for me.
If he gets a good interview, right? Like, we just like, look, man, if you do this for a living, here's how we expect you to behave. And as long as you do that, you're good with us. You step outside of these boundaries we have set for you, then we got a problem with it, right? And that's us, though.
Yeah, and I don't know where that narrative comes from. Like, you as somebody who works in journalism, your job is to cover the basketball team and the basketball players. Are you contributing to that narrative, or where does that narrative start to form?
I no question contribute to the narrative. No question. Even in my head, how I write, what I choose to write about is subjective, right? As much as we try to be objective, I don't even know if objective is possible. I think you just got to try to be fair, right? But
can you be fair, though?
I mean, as fair goes, right, as we understand fair, right? Like, if I'm going to say something negative about you, fair is giving you a chance to say, to talk about it, right? So I feel like when I'm reading this and I'm thinking, because I remember thinking like, yo, if the worst thing we could say about you, Kevin Durant, is that you're sensitive, like, that is actually a victory, because you should be way more, right? It should be like way more wrong with you than the fact that you decide to feel, all right, and be vulnerable and be transparent. Like, these are actually good things for humans to be. We're just saying because you're Kevin Durant, you shouldn't be that, right? So, but no question, like, once with this new information or with this understanding about him, it has already changed how I write or think, how I even think about him, right? When you see he's doing this, first it's like, why is he doing that? Why is he debating with 17-year-olds on social media, right? And now it's like, oh, I kind of know why you do it. Or now I put this in a different perspective because I know. We absolutely dig into the narrative. But also, I just feel like consumerism comes with entitlement, right? If you're paying for something, you just feel like you're entitled to dictate how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I buy the TV, this remote better press. Yes. When I press the up volume, the volume better go up. Man. Yeah. Like, but I bought this. So I feel like we pay and we invest into sports, so we feel like we can dictate a lot about sports. That's people and media. Yeah,
because, I mean, we've seen even hometown crowd boo their own team.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, that happens. Like, we just saw this.
Literally just happened to Philly, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, right? Like,
yeah.
Right? And it's like, you're not doing well. You should be, like, rebounding. You should be doing this. You should be winning, basically. And they got booed.
Nobody care about you being tired or having an off game. Like, nah, I pay for this. Like, we went through this with, this was actually a conversation in the Warriors locker room. Remember, not last year, it had to be a couple years ago. Maybe it was last year when they were arresting all these people. And then it became an issue. They arrested 4 All-Stars in San Antonio. And all these people were saying, I paid money to see you guys.
Load management and all.
Yeah, right. I paid money to see you guys. We drove all the way from here to see Steph Curry. He's not playing. And then, the league steps in. It's like, you can't rest guys. That's how you get, like, load management. But in the Warriors locker room, like, if you're talking to the players, they're like, don't you get days off? Right? Don't you get to call in sick? Don't you know what I'm saying? Like, don't you get PTO?
Yeah.
Right? So like it's like but for the players, we're like, nah, dude, you better be out. If I'm there, you better be there. Right? Like, and that's the entitlement. But if you're Andre Iguodala, you're 37 years old, or you're like, and you need time off, do you jeopardize that? Do you not get your rest because somebody drove 3 hours to see you play?
While balancing the fact that, like, you guys are expected to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So you got to get your rest in, you got to win, and you got to make shots, basically.
And you have to win a championship, so you need to win every game in the regular season and then every game in the postseason. And you need to do this without being concerned for your health. It's a crazy phenomenon. At the same time, like, if you've ever consumed something, you get it. Like, man, I pay for this, and with that comes an explanation, right?
Yeah. Why were you guys down by 20 in the fourth? Like, you guys
like,
suck.
Man, if I drove 3 hours to see Steph Curry and that dude didn't play, I might be hot too. Like, I don't know what the answer is, but I understand Steph Curry. Like, dude, if I don't feel good, I'm taking a day off. I don't know why he doesn't get that right.
Yeah.
Maybe because he makes so much money. Like,
yeah, I guess it's the expectations of, like, the fact that you're supposed to kind of. I think with Jordan, especially, and Kobe, they kind of set that standard of excellence where it's like, this is what you got to do. And I mean, the subtitle of this book is Kevin Durant's Relentless Pursuit to be the Greatest, right? And if you want to be the greatest, you got to get to that level. And those guys didn't do load management. They played the 82 games, or as much of them as they could, and rolled into the playoffs and into the finals.
I mean, that was old school, though, right?
Yeah.
And they would argue, the argument now is, like, that wasn't good for their health. And so here's we talking about, right? We're talking about these levels of how we classify people, right? What they do on their job. For them, what they do on their jobs determines who they are. And for us, our job is just a job, right? We're determined by how we live our life, right? So
we do 9 to 5.
Yeah,
and
right.
501.
Once 5 is out, like, so when we ask you, like, yo, man, at your funeral in 100 years, when they stand up and they do your eulogy and they supposed to talk for 2 minutes and they talk for 5, right? And they have to be told to sit down. They won't be talking about what you did at work. Or if they're talking about what you did at work, it's not the work you did, it's the relationship they had with you at work. But they're going to be talking about all the times you were there for them, the funny time, right? They're going to be talking about you, the person. They're going to be saying, man, you should have seen his PowerPoints, right? Like,
he was so good at filing.
Yeah, right? Like, no, that's what we say. You get to be determined for how you live your life. And your job is like a window in that life that kind of you could be separate from. They don't get to do that. So, for example, we praise old school players, right, for always playing, always putting in the extra work. Do we ding them for not being good dads?
No.
Do we ding them for not being good husbands? Like,
but Jordan's time, obviously, you can tell.
I mean, there's stories about Jordan and his wife, right?
Yeah. But I mean, you can tell, like, just by the fact of how good he was, like, you're in the gym, so you're sacrificing
Jordan
something.
Was at the casino before the game for 5 hours, and then he's going.
Yeah, I know.
Or on the golf course for 12 hours.
That's true too. But you know what I mean? Like, to get to that level and to maintain that, like, you're putting time in, like, so you're sacrificing something.
No question. So I just, like, what does that say about us that we would say, yeah, man, forget your kids and your wife. You better do this job.
But is it also a thing where, like, you only get this window because you get whatever 5 years, 7 years in NBA?
So does your child. They only
I'm
get that window.
I know. I'm not.
They're only gonna be 13 one time.
I'm not defending deadbeat dads. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? Like if your knees don't go or whatever.
Yeah. No question. You got a small window to make this money. No question. I got it.
And you can have generational wealth too.
But if you're them, right?
I know.
If you're them. And that contract is guaranteed, whether you pay 82 or 75. Who doesn't play 75?
Yeah, and then you just hope that you can show up to a birthday party or two, eh?
So you play the 75. You maximize. The point becomes efficiency, right? And that's how you're able to play your games. And like Steph Curry, right? He gets up before his daughter so he can work out, so he can take them to school every day. You know what I'm saying? So, in other words, you got to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to. If he wants to be an elite basketball player, he's got to do the work. But he also wants to be a good father, right? So if he's burning that candle on one end, when does it stop on the back end? And on the back end, man, you better not miss a game because I drove 3 hours.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a crazy bind. I just thought it just reminded me right about KD. Like I was there in Oklahoma City his first game back, and you would have thought there was a shootout. And he put his daughter in front of him to shield him from the bullets. Like, I mean, like the way they talked about him and the way they like reviled him. And he's like, I gave y'all 9 years working hard, doing everything. I was a member of the community. I poured into the community. Like
donated after the tornado.
Yeah, donated $1 million.
Right.
They put him in the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. And then he decides to change jobs. And he became the worst person in the world, and like there's no perspective there, right? And it was just like, and we were in there, we're like, yo, I've never, like, it probably felt like how you felt in Cleveland when LeBron came back. It's like, yo, no, this ain't just jeering.
Yeah,
this is
hate.
Yeah, like this is, man. if I wouldn't go to jail, I would run out this crowd and fire on you, right?
Yeah,
like that was crazy. I know it hurt him too, because like he gave his all to them. And then he just made a job change.
And this is the thing too. It's like you said, there's no perspective. Or like it clearly, for whatever number of reasons, KD felt that Oklahoma City was not working, and he went to the Warriors. And then it just generates all this like hate and all this like
Can it just be he's all right? Just say then he's not that good of a basketball player, or he's not that strong of a competitor.
Or it makes the league better because now your team's got to get better. The Rockets have been trying to get past the Warriors, and it's like what they're doing.
How do you do it? Like, how could we, as a sports fan base, what's a way you can disapprove of Kevin Durant's move without disapproving of the person? Like, how do you do that?
I don't know.
How do you say, man, you're a good dude, right? You've done great. Like, clearly you got a great heart, right? But man, that was a weak move you did. How do you put that on a sign?
I guess you just have like just burn the jersey out front and then you're done. Like,
yeah, how does that work? Right?
Yeah.
Like, but like maybe you don't call them like they had the T-shirts that said coward and it was spelled with the K, and so the highlight it was K and D, so it was like basically calling KD a coward.
The cupcakes thing.
Yeah,
you write about that, the cupcakes.
I think the cupcakes is cool.
So explain.
It's like an inside joke.
Yeah,
right?
Explain the cupcakes thing just as a quick little.
So cupcake, to their team on the Thunder, it just meant soft. Like Kendrick Perkins,
who's a tough.
Yeah, who's about as tough as they come.
Yeah,
would call anything that was soft, like another player, another team, he would call them cupcake. So then, like the Thunder team, like Westbrook, Durant, they picked that up, and they were just cupcake would be saying someone is soft. So that was like an inside joke. I get it. It's calling them soft, and I just don't know how you call somebody soft who survived what he survived. But it almost felt like a sportsy thing, right? Like, but like coward and just the character assassination was it just felt like a lot. And
it is.
I didn't know it at the time, but when I write the book, it just really felt like a lot then.
But it's like when you start a relationship, everything's amazing and the person's funny and you love all these things about them and they make you laugh.
Yeah, but you can't be the one like 5 years later when a relationship don't work. Like, I hated you the whole time.
Yeah, and then you burn it to the ground.
Yeah, right. Like, don't burn it pictures. I'll never talk to your mom again.
Yeah,
like, man, you'd be like, we had some good times and I don't like you no more like that. But
and that's what you're talking about. It's like, I don't know how we don't know how to break up like in relationships anyways. Like, we're terrible at it. We're trying to spare people's feelings, but at the same time we're like, we want to get out. I want to get my jacket. I'm out.
That's probably less fun though, right? Just to be all civil. Amicable breakups are not as fun.
Well, you don't get any feedback. How are you supposed to be a better lover? Like, how are you supposed to be better for the next relationship if you don't get any feedback?
Yeah, that's a good point. Go to counseling.
Okay, there you go. We're just solving all kinds of problems.
I know, right?
So yeah, the book is KD, Kevin Durant's Relentless Pursuit to be the Greatest. I just want to wrap up and just talk about the fact that you write for The Athletic.
Yeah.
And The Athletic actually, it launched in Chicago, and Toronto was the second city that they added after that. For people that don't know or not familiar, what is the Athletic and how is it kind of different from like other sports media or outlets?
So the Athletic is a glorified sports page. Emphasis on glorified,
Yes.
right? It is glorious.
Mm-hmm.
It is in essence like the end game for all media, because just newspapers is just I don't know if that's also true in Canada, but in the States the newspaper industry is just it's done, right? It's a downward spiral that's been happening for a long time, and especially in earnest with the tech boom, with the tech crash in 07, 08, right? So basically the ad revenue just don't line up anymore, right? And so the sports
and the readership too.
Yeah, the sports content was always designed as a way to draw advertisers, right? Like you're not paying for the content, but the content draws eyes, and the eyes draws the revenue from advertising. That's been the model for years. It made a bunch of money, but that model is not there anymore. Eyes just aren't as valuable, right? So, and then to compound it, when people didn't understand what the internet was and what it would become, a lot of newspapers just put it on the web for free, right? As a whatever. Let's just give it to these weirdos who like the internet, right? So obviously
This will be a fad.
It became free on the internet, and people started reading on the internet, which definitely undermines their need to pay for it to subscribe to the newspaper, and so people stopped doing it. So it's just been a downward spiral. So the Athletics' whole core mission is to basically, oh, by the way, like with the loss of revenue has led to a loss of quality. Because you just don't have the money. You can't pay the best reporters. You can't cover things like you used to,
or you resort to clickbait, right?
Yeah,
like the easiest thing just to get immediate.
You're trying to get more eyes,
Yeah.
right? When I started at the newspaper, we had a high school sports staff that was 15 deep.
Wow.
Right now, most papers don't even cover high school sports, right? And
this is where the kids are coming from, though.
yeah, absolutely, right.
So,
and that's one thing parents will pay for. People will pay for, like people pay for their kids, right? So there's just no money to pay the reporters to go and do it. So what we've tried to do at the Athletic is to bring back the dope sports section, right? The one that was full, the one that covered things thoroughly and paid the writers who do great work to like do great work. The difference is we're not using the content as bait to draw advertisers. We're just basically selling it straight direct to the people who want it, right? So that's what we call a subscription model. It's a lot like Netflix in that sense. Hardcore fans who want this information so much they'll pay for it. Just go directly to them. Cut out the middleman. So no ads, right? No, you ain't on the site. Then some like Home Depot thing pop up and block the whole screen. Like we don't do no ads. No like videos interrupting your content, trying to keep you on the page for longer, because that's more like longer eyes and more data for advertisers, right? So we don't do any of those gimmicks. We're just like, look, man, we got great writers. You might want to pay for this, and many people are. So we started in Chicago, very small, and then Toronto is where it got real, because we hired some of the best hockey writers, and it was cranking, right? It was big. And then we went to I think it was Cleveland next, and then Detroit, and then the Bay Area. And, because, Toronto and Bay Area clearly have this connection. By the way, did you see E40 and Drake, right? With their fake beef photo. So Toronto, made it real. And that's how they were willing to invest more money. And then that's where we set up the Bay Area. And once Bay Area hit it, it took off, right? So that's what we do. We just try to bring back the glorious days of the sports section without all of the ads and all online, all digital. We have a beautiful app, and I think it's some great work. Like people, it's doing way better than what I ever thought it was. I was at the newspaper for 18 years, and when they offered me the job, I was scared to leave because I'd been in a newspaper for so long. You just didn't know if it was gonna work. I was like, man, just give me, if it works, if it lasts for 3 years, like I at least can have enough money to I'll be all right when I'm looking for a new job. Man, I ain't going nowhere.
Just to give us a snapshot, like what is your role then? So you cover the Warriors for The Athletic?
I cover everything. I'm what we call a columnist, right? So I basically just hop back and forth to the most important events. So it ends up during football season is Raiders is 49ers. During baseball season is mostly the Giants, even though I'm an Oakland dude, A's dude, right? So basketball season, obviously Warriors is the biggest story, like have been for 5 years. So I just do that. Like I'm back and forth all over the Bay Area. I covered the Warriors for 10 years as the beat writer before I got promoted at the newspaper. So now, I mean, I end up writing mostly Warriors just because that's the big story all the time. But during football season, that's the only other thing that kind of dominates is football. King football, we call it.
So I'll get you out on this. I'll close up with this. So it's Raptors and Warriors right now. Two big questions. Are you expecting KD to come back now that you've written this book and you know who KD is and you got a better sense of who he is? I expect him to come back. And
I think he'll be back. He's already working out. I think he'll be back. I know KD is a nut job for basketball. Like he's a literal addict.
Yeah.
So dudes like that just don't sit out.
Yeah, like he's aware of who his position is and how to be great. And you can't sit out of finals and still be considered great.
I don't think he can sit out of a preseason game, right? Like that dude, there's something about coming to the gym, getting shots up, the strategy of it. It's how it saved his life, literally. Like it kept him out of trouble. It kept him out of gangs. It kept him off the streets. It gave him a passion that he could invest in. It gave him confidence. It gave him friends. It gave him a pass in the hood because once they knew he was a baller, like they left him alone. Like basketball saved his life. So it means it's not like his 9 to 5 in that sense. It's like, man, this matters a lot to me.
It's his oxygen.
Yeah, right. So I don't see a dude like that saying, man, I could play, but I'm not. Right. So I think it's just a matter of him getting together. Probably he'll start where he won't play game 2. Steve Kerr said that it's practically impossible because he's got to get some practices in, and they probably get 1 tomorrow, and I'm thinking game 3 is probably the first chance where we'll be like, all right, is he coming? Well, it's possible. Depends on how many practices.
And it's a home game too.
It's a home game, yeah.
So that's what you want, that emotional lift. Which brings me to my last question, which is, this is the last run or the last couple of games we'll see at Oracle. That's correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
3 games left, max.
Does winning a championship this year, because it's the last year for Oracle and where it is and where it's situated before it moves to the Chase Center, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Does that make a difference to Oakland? Does it make a difference to that community? To everything?
I mean, it's the least they can do. You know what I'm saying? They leave in our city.
Because this goes full circle to what you're saying.
Yeah, they leave in our city.
Like, I know Chase is like one of the reasons why they're going to the Chase
This
Center.
is like if the Raptors left and went to America.
Yeah.
And y'all like, dang, dude, like, you know what I'm saying? They were like, all right, but now what if they blow up and become like this big entity? And it's like, but look, man, we can go set up in this city and make 3 times the money.
Right.
Right. Y'all be like, yo, like you were nothing and we were here. Like we built y'all.
Yeah.
That's what we're like in Oakland, right? It's like, man, what about all them years where y'all were trash and we supported you, right? Like that's what the city is like. So it's been one of those things that has been like people have been angry about. Some people are not, but a lot of people are because they're only going 15 minutes away, right? It's not that far, but it's a world away.
Yeah.
Right. This is like elite San Francisco. This is expensive. Many people will not be able to go. It's gonna be high end, right?
They've made it clear who they don't want in a sense.
Basically, yeah. I mean, they just don't. They want people with a lot of money. That's who. It ain't about who they don't want. It's who they want, which automatically excludes other people, right? So they want people with a bunch of money to spend and willing to spend it. But
it goes back to what we were saying about sports too, because like they got to keep this team together somehow.
Yeah.
Right. They got to keep winning.
Paying $300 million. Yeah.
KD's contract is up, whether he stays or goes. Like if they want to pay, Draymond Green's contract is looking at
Klay
like
Thompson.
Right. So
Steph Curry's already getting 200.
So do you want to keep them and keep winning, or like?
So that's. I think people in the Bay are resigned. Like it's about to start being emotional. So. Like the least you can do before the divorce is final is like one last, sexcapade, right?
Yes.
Like Give me some before you go, right? You know what I'm saying? So
just one time for the old time's
you know what I'm
sake.
saying? One time for old, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
win a championship, let the confetti, give us one more good night together.
You know what I mean? We were good together.
So game 5.
Yeah.
No, game 6. Sorry, game 6.
Yeah, because they switched the
game 6. You know, if it goes that far,
Mhm.
it'll go that far, right? The Warriors will win one game, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm actually leaning. I think the Raptors are good, but I'm giving a slight edge to the Warriors.
Yeah, I think I predicted Warriors in 6. Some of that is my Oakland bias to
Mhm.
set up exactly what I'm saying. Like,
Mhm.
but that would be the fitting end. Right?
Yeah.
That'll be the proper send off to Oracle and to the East Bay fan, and it's just to like the 40 years that were built there, because like it's a big piece of the culture that's going to a different culture. Like I know people look at it as city to city. It's only 15 minutes. It's right across the bridge, but it's leaving one culture and going to another.
There's a big difference between Cherry Hill and Camden, New Jersey.
Yes.
Right.
Huge, right? Like huge, right? Yeah, no question.
I know what you mean, and that's just separated by a bridge.
Yep. No, I mean, it's a world away, even though it's 15 minutes. Like,
yeah.
So.
And you're technically in New Jersey, so it's like you should be fine, but
Nah, man.
No, man.
Nah, man. It's a different world of San Francisco, and we'll see if they can handle a juggernaut like that. Because San Francisco is a great city with a lot to do, and when your teams aren't winning, they just stop showing up. Like the Giants were they won 3 championships. They were top of the world. Now they're trash, and the stadium is half full. They had this beautiful ballpark overlooking the water that was so perfect, and now they're like, yeah, we're out. So what happens when Steph Curry retires? Who knows?
But for now, in the 2019 finals, you're expecting the Warriors to triumph over Toronto.
Yeah, I'm not picking the Warriors until somebody beats them. Right? I mean, I've seen them in every situation. I've seen them in the last 5 years. They somehow come out on top. The one time they didn't was in 2016, and it took the most Herculean effort from arguably the greatest player of all time.
But it was also Draymond's suspension.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It was all kind of stuff. Andre Iguodala's back goes out. Bogut gets hurt. He's out. I mean, it's just all kind of stuff. Steph was playing on, less than he just was unhealthy. There's no other way to put it. Like, it was just a lot had to happen for them to lose. So I expect that team. Now, they are older. They're not as deep. They have played a lot this postseason. They could be tired. So there's some vulnerability there. But it's going to be hard to eliminate the Warriors. Just ask the Rockets, who had them on the brink twice. It's hard to knock out any team, especially a champion. Like, that's another level.
Yeah.
So the Rockets are going to, even as great as they are, the Raptors, as great as they are, they're going to have to go up another level to finish them. Houston didn't have the other level. So it's going to be tough for them to do that. Kyle Lowry's hand is practically useless.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think, too, one of the deficiencies with the Raptors is they're not always consistent.
Yeah.
Night by night, whereas the Warriors are
you
kind of
saying Siakam is not going to hit 14 or 17 every game for 30 points, 32
I'd
points?
like to believe that, but I know. And he in another year or two, he's going to be fantastic.
He's fantastic now, but he's going to be a star.
Yeah, but I think that's where this finals is going to be. It's like the Warriors are kind of like the neat freaks, really efficient, really strong, and then the Raptors are a little bit of like a messy room kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it'll be like messy room versus like neat freaks, and I think neat freaks tend to like win out just because of the efficiency.
That's a good way to put it.
All right, we got to end it there then. So thank you, Marcus, for hanging out during the finals. I know it's a busy time. You're writing about the Warriors, and you're writing about KD, who will hopefully be back for the finals. The book is out now, Kevin Durant's Relentless Pursuit to be the Greatest. Thank you for hanging out and talking about. We covered a lot. You set me straight on Don't Call It San Fran. You taught me about the Bay Area. And we talked about KD and his...
Good conversation we had. Good stuff.
So thank you. Yo, that was fresh. My name is Sam Unin. This has been My Summer Lair. You can follow me on the Twitter and on Instagram and on the Facebook. All of them are at My Pal Sammy. Let me know if you have any basketball opinions or insights. It takes a village to raise a basketball narrative. As always, I'm always grateful that you took some time and you push play and you've lasted to the end. I wish there was like a way to kind of give you a digital high five or something. Anyways, thank you for listening. That's it.